Temple Bene Ephraim is the spiritual name for the 10 lost tribes of Israel. How 10 tribes got lost in Israel? As you know, Solomon, the king that reigned after David, who is David's son, reigned, and after he reigned, his son Rehoboam took over the kingship. And according to what the Bible teaches, the Old Testament, Rehoboam was ruling with iron fists, and his brothers, the 10 tribes, started revolting, and they came to him and told him that his father didn't used to handle them with tough, high-handedness, that he should soft pedal. But rather than him soft pedaling, he said, well, let me inform you now that I'm going to even treat you with greater high-handedness. So you better take it or leave it. So on saying that, the 10 tribes gathered together and said, well, to your tents, O Israel. That's how this name, to your tents, O Israel, that people normally say. That's how it came about. And so they broke off from Israel and went up north and became the northern kingdom of Israel. Now Rehoboam continued to be king over the southern kingdom, which consisted of Judah and Benjamin. Now, the northern kingdom that broke away from the southern kingdom, from Israel, his brother Jeroboam became their king. Now, so there became Israel divided. The kingdom of Israel was divided. Now, the southern kingdom continued in the principles and practice of the Torah as given to Israel at Mount Sinai. But the northern kingdom, when they went up to the north, they assimilated with the Canaanites and local tribes that were in the north. And by assimilating with them, they took on their practices. So the halakha, or the strict statutes and ordinances and principles of the Torah, they compromised it with additions of the local religions
in the northern kingdom.
So that became idolatry. And because of that idolatry, remember, God warned them that he's taking them into the land in Deuteronomy 6 verse 1. That is where OMENANA came from. OMENANA, the laws and statutes, the ordinances that you will do in the land that I am giving to you. God gave them those statutes. So, but when they now went to the North Kingdom and started mixing things up and started worshiping Asheroth and the gods of those people and mixed it up with the Torah, God was not happy. So the Assyrians now came and vanquished them, and that was how the land spewed them out, because that was what God warned them. He said, if you don't keep the laws and the ordinances that I've given you in this land that you are going into, that the land will spew you out. And that was exactly what he did. So here comes the 10 tribes. The Assyrians came and literally vanquished them, took them out into exile, and scattered them all over the world. But the southern kingdom, comprising of Judah and Benjamin, continued to keep the Torah and the laws and ordinances. But of course, they themselves eventually fell into idolatry and they were also vanquished out into Babylon. That is the exile that they went to Babylon. Now, the Bible tells us that the Babylonian exile ended at a certain time, and they returned to Israel and rebuilt the temple. But the 10 lost tribes, nowhere was it recorded that they returned back to Israel. They remained scattered all over the whole world. To fulfill the prophet Hosea, in Hosea chapter 8, verse 8, it says that the nations have swallowed up Ephraim. Ephraim is the corporate name of the 10 tribes. Okay? While Judah is the corporate name for Judah and Benjamin, the southern kingdom. So Hosea chapter 8 verse 8 says that because of the idolatry of Ephraim, which is the 10 tribes, that they will be swallowed up by the nations where they have been scattered, because they choose to worship other gods. And that when they now get scattered into other nations, the gods of those nations, they will fall in love with them and they will worship them. And so their identity as the chosen people of Yahweh Elohim will be lost. That's why they are called the lost tribes. But Yahweh knows where they are. They are not lost to him. But he promised in Jeremiah 16, he said, the days are coming when it used to be said, the Lord liveth that brought the children of Israel out of Egypt. But now it shall be said, the Lord liveth that brought the children of Israel out of the north country and out of all the countries where they were scattered. He said, I will send to some fishermen to fish them, and then I will send hunters to hunt them out from all the rocks and crevices where they have been scattered, for their idolatry and their practices of idolatry. Their sins are before Yahweh, that he knows where they are and all the detestable things, and that he will go out and fish them out. And then he will do what? In Ezekiel 31, he said, he will now rewrite his Torah in their heart. First of all, he will take away their heart of stone and rewrite his law, his Torah, in their heart and give them a heart of flesh, so that now they will be returned, they will be reconciled with him back to the covenant that he made with them at Mount Sinai. That covenant which is everlasting, which their forefathers swore that they will keep forever and ever. Now, the tribe of Gad, Reuben, and half tribe of Manasseh, which were the original 2.5 tribes that came into Iboland through the confluence of Ezuna Omabala, through the man called Eri. Now, those three, when they got here, they also, according to what they are used to be doing in the northern kingdom, they have also mixed up their worship of Yahweh Elohim. And that is why you find out some of the cultural practices that you see in Iboland today that people call OMENANA. That OMENANA is Deuteronomy 6 verse 1. These are the statutes and the laws that you will do in the land that I'm giving to you. But did they do exactly those statutes and principles and ordinances? No. Rather, they mixed it up. For example, bringing in Alusi into covenant things of Yahweh, sacrificing things in the river, in the ocean, that is not